Hi, I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel, and today we're going to teach you how to change the fuel filter on a 2.8 Duramax. On a 2019 Duramax, we've only got 10,000 miles on this truck. Now, the service interval for fuel filters on the 2.8 Duramax is supposed to be 37,500 miles. Fuel filters are cheap. Fuel system components are expensive. We're going to go ahead and change the fuel filters on this truck today. With 10,000 miles on this truck, it's already showing about 60% of fuel filter life still available, so it's right on pace to be out of fuel filter life at 37,000 miles. However, you will need to pay attention to the fuel filter life in the DIC on these vehicles, because if you get a bad load of fuel, it's going to load these filters. That's going to be present in the DIC. So your fuel filter percentage, you may just change fuel filter again, then get a bad load of fuel, and it may shoot to 0%. So don't always think that it may be a bad sensor or something for you not to look at. Remember, you could have gotten a bad load of fuel. So now that being said, the product that we're going to be putting on this truck is the genuine AC Delco filters. This is, at the time of this filming, part number on this is a TP1007 AC Delco. The long string part number for that is a 52100212. It's at the bottom right below the TP number on that. Just for giggles, we ordered another company's filters. Local parts house. I'm not going to beat up on anybody. I don't know who makes this filter. It is Chinese made. I'll cover up the thing and you can see right here. You can see made in China. So taking a look at these filters, the first thing that we noticed when we got them in was the AC Delco filter was much denser than the Chinese filter from the parts house. Much denser, much heavier. That leads me to believe, without doing a scientific analysis of this filter, cutting it open, looking at how many layers, there's going to be more layers to this, more filtering media inside of this filter. This one being a much lighter filter. We also noticed that the weaving on the outside is very loose. For lack of a better word, the outside shell of this almost looks fuzzy. This has got a quilted look to it on the outside of it, and I think that lends itself to the material inside of the filter being a denser, better quality material. So there are two fuel filters on the 2.8 Duramax, the LWN. They are both in the same assembly. They're side by side. Takes a 27 metric to be able to service these. So if you don't have a 27 metric, go ahead and get that out. I think 1 1/4 will work too, but 27 is exactly what it is. So with our tools and everything, we're ready to go ahead and start with our fuel filter change. What you want to remember on this, it tells you in the manual, you're going to want to make sure the truck's been shut off for 30 seconds so that the fuel pump is not energized. You can take it one step farther, go ahead and pull the negative cable off the battery if you worry about somebody jumping in there and energizing it on you while you're changing your fuel filter. But we're going to go ahead and get it in the air and get the fuel filters changed. All right, underneath the truck, just forward of your fuel tank, is your fuel filter canister. Two fuel filters in here, the 27 metric nut like we were talking about, the filter heads on here. But one thing I want to talk to you about on the canister is the water and fuel drain. The water and fuel drain on these trucks is this orange tab that is between the two filters. What you can do with this is you need to use your water and fuel drain pretty consistently. I feel like, you know, if you go 100,000 miles and never let the water off of these filters or never touch that drain, that little drain is going to become very brittle and it's probably going to break the first time you do it. So the more interaction you have with it, the better off that you are. Now, we've drained this canister. We've drained one side of this canister so it doesn't just flood us, but this is a really nice way to drain this canister, is to just use your water and fuel plug. The water and fuel plug won't come out. You can just drop it straight down like this. And well, we've got a little fuel left in here, but you can drop it down like that right there and let a little bit of fuel off on the canister, let it drain out. You can let it drain out just like that, so that way you don't get absolutely flooded with fuel when you take the filters out. So we're gonna let that do its thing, and with the magic of cameras, we're gonna cut and we'll come back once it's drained out. Actually, you know what? It's pretty close there, Adam, so. Drained on out now, so. I'm not gonna use the magic of cameras today. So yeah, that's another just nice way to use it there. Nice way to use that water and fuel drain. There's quite a bit of fuel in this canister, so I mean it comes out pretty well. I don't know that they always tell you how much fuel you're going to be wearing in jobs like this, but yeah. So have yourself a canister to catch your fuel underneath the truck. Make sure the truck's been off for 30 seconds so that it's unprimed, and we'll go ahead and drop our fuel filters out. And these things, there's not a lot of thread on them. When you loosen it up, you'll think, if you think, man, I've been turning on this for days and it's not coming down, probably just need to pull straight down on it, and the filter comes out just like that. And then our filter closest to the cab. So 10,000 miles on this truck, and you can see that we've been doing pretty good on our fuel quality. Not a lot there, but you know, good time to change them anyway. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our water and fuel plug back up and tighten it down. It only goes so far, so you don't have to break it off in there. All right, now the fuel filters are both the same, so it doesn't matter which one you put where. I use just a little bit of the old fuel around here to lubricate my O-ring. And the torque on these is really light. It's 20.5 Newton meters, so not much. We'll go ahead and tighten that up. There's that. All right, so that's all there is to changing the fuel filter. Now we're going to get the truck down, and we are going to show you how to properly prime the system, and then we're going to show you how to clear the fuel filter percentage in the DIC. All right, we're going to talk to you about the proper procedure to prime the fuel filter on these trucks. Our manual tells us to prime the system. You will do 2 key cycles, and both of those key cycles will contain a 30-second run time, 10 to 30-second run time of the lift pump. That will fill up our canister. After the second time, we're able to start it. I've already done one of those now to save us some time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the key to the on position, and when I say on, I'm saying on, not the run position. Adam, will you turn that key for me while the steering wheel is locked? Sorry, folks. All right. So I'm going to be quiet here. You can hear the lift pump running. Run about a 20 to 30 second cycle and it will shut off. Once it shuts off, we can start the truck. That'll be my second time. When you turn your key off after your first lift pump cycle, you want to make sure the ECM resets in the truck. So let the truck sit for a minute before you go for your second cycle. So this is our second cycle, so we're going to go ahead and start the truck. If it doesn't start, don't freak out. You're still okay. You just want to shut the truck off, turn it to the off position, get underneath the truck and look for leaks. Now, I don't know how we got back to there. So to bring the DIC up, go to the information side. So on the right hand side of the steering wheel, push to the right. That'll bring up that top row there that's got the home and everything on it. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in now. We're already on fuel filter life, but to get fuel filter life, you just press the up and down. All right, to reset our fuel filter light, we will go right here and we will hit the check button, which is the button in the middle. And then this will ask us, are we sure we want to reset the fuel filter life? Yes, we do. Fuel filter life should be 100%, but it didn't do it. All right, so the truck apparently cannot be on when you do that. The truck has to be off. So as soon as we turn the key off and we turned it back on, it went to fuel filter life 100%. So if you try to do that while the truck's running, not gonna work. You've got to have the truck off and the key on, and then you can reset the fuel filter life. So learned something today while you guys were learning as well. So I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel. Now you know how to change the fuel filter in a 2.8 Duramax. If you have any questions about this video or any of our other videos, please give us a call and like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, thanks for watching.